International press, diplomats, and heads of state will be arriving in the U.S. today and tomorrow. It's the most heads of state that will ever have been at Camp David. Police say having a larger library of DNA samples allows them to solve more crimes. The Supreme Court only travels for the law's program one time each year. Neighbors had just seen the victim bringing cans of kerosene for the heaters that he kept inside. In critical condition after he was shot here on Jonathan Street. Neighbors who were outside this apartment after the boy collapsed, seeing his small body strapped to a gurney was devastating. For the Narcotics Task Force, a drug bust can be as easy as smelling 20 pounds of marijuana. Officials say the new high school has been a long time coming and the boundary changes are needed now more than ever. An indicator of sediment in the water, and sediment is a sign there's runoff going into the water. Police are investigating a shooting on South Market Street in Frederick that happened early this morning. 2 entrance points and 17 other ordering spaces. It should be a smooth ride. Squeakers is a Coda Mundi, and as you can see, they really mess up your vision. As friends mourn the loss of 3-year-old Kaiwan Connolly, they now realize the signs of the lifetime of abuse he may have suffered.
By looking at it, you could tell something was going on. But I didn't really want to come out and say anything because it wasn't none of my business and all that.
It never crossed my mind that it would be this.
Police say it's one of the worst child abuse cases they've ever seen. Both James Malden and his girlfriend Jasmine Dawkins have been charged with child abuse resulting in death. After Kaiwan collapsed at his home on Joshua Drive in Martinsburg, Dawkins told police she had seen Malden beating him in the head just a few days before.
I don't know why she wouldn't tell, because they have a baby together.
Police say his mother lives in Prince George's County and served a 9-month sentence for child neglect.
As soon as I told her, she hung up the phone.
Police say CAT scans revealed old injuries starting from when Kaiwan was just a few months old.
You did see bruises on his arm, stuff like that, but by being there with his dad and stuff, didn't look like his dad would do something like that.
Police say burns on the child's lower body came from a metal pan Malden would heat when he would force the child to sit in a squat position as punishment.
He would heat up a pan and put it underneath the child, and the child would obviously get tired, causing multiple burn marks to his lower body.
But somehow the abuse never broke Kaiwan's spirit.
He was sweet. He was the sweetest thing. Like, if you met him, you'd fall in love with him.
Despite the abuse, friends say Kaiwan was a playful child who loved to sing. But they remember one question he would always ask them.
He always asked, he said, "Can I come home with you?" That's what he asked.
Now the apartment where Kaiwan lived is covered with memorials.
Yellow roses, because yellow means peace.
But for him, this home was hell on earth. In Martinsburg, Katie Kairos, WHAG News.
Every time I say something, you're going to scream. Eyes are at the top of your lungs.
Get in line, get in shape, and take the hit.
Fairness, dignity.
I didn't know how bad it would feel like to be controlled every day of life, to be shot down at every mess up you make.
Because at Marine Corps boot camp, there's no going home until you're one of the few and the proud.
Quitting's not an option here. Once you're here, you're here. You got to put out, because you're here for a reason.
To make it through 13 weeks of mental, physical, and emotional training. And it's the drill instructor's job to make Marines.
Anything they do, they have to do it as a team. And if they don't, then they ultimately fail and, there's consequences.
From getting dressed to using deadly weapons, if recruits make a mistake, they'll have to do it right, over and over again.
By the 60th time they hear that command, it's going to be muscle memories.
Marines have some of the most intensive training of all the armed forces, so physical training is especially important on Parris Island.
You're probably giving it 100%, but they're going to want 110, so you might want to put out a little more.
Not just about stamina and strength, the recruits master marksmanship, swimming, and through it all, teamwork. One saying here, the more you sweat, the less you bleed.
Not everyone can do this. Not everyone can make it, and if you can make it, that's a tremendous honor.
Women make up about 6% of the Corps, and they do all the same training.
My mom wasn't really a fan of me being a Marine, but she became a fan.
And it's the core values that will take them through: honor, courage, and commitment.
I want to be a Marine extremely badly, so enough is going to take it away from me. I'm not quitting, no matter what.
It's the promise all new Marines make to their country. Reporting from Parris Island, Katie Kairos, WHAG News. Governor Martin O'Malley came to Hagerstown to discuss crime prevention, even as public safety is facing cuts in Maryland's doomsday budget.
Unfortunately, the public safety grants were part of the casualty of General Assembly deadlocking in the final minutes of the session and failing to complete their work on the budget.
But he met with law enforcement on a new initiative with Pennsylvania and West Virginia to share information across state borders.
If people on probation in Maryland are arrested in Pennsylvania, we get notified right away.
Those type of criminals are crossing the border, so law enforcement has to do the same thing.
O'Malley also opened the new Maryland State Police Barracks that houses a new crime lab and the state fire marshal's office. Police will be able to move in this week.
That's going to then bring all the forensic expertise that's focused down in Baltimore area also out here to Western Maryland.
The governor noted that this project came in on time and under budget. But the same can't be said for the state of Maryland.
The message that I'm hearing from the public is clear. We need to do our job. We need to wrap up the work on the budget so Maryland can continue to improve public education, improve public safety, and do the basic work that's required of our state government.
Governor O'Malley says public safety is a top priority for him, but the question now is, will it fit into the budget? O'Malley says he's counting on a special session.
I think there's pretty broad recognition that we can't leave this the way it is, that we need to come back.
He says he's concerned about education cuts, which he says would be especially hard on Western Maryland.
I don't think that there's a county in the state that's taken it on the chin in terms of jobs harder than Washington County has.
He says the only way to offset cuts will be tax increases, but that's an issue that still needs to be decided on. In Hagerstown, Katie Kairos, WHAG News.